This available in video on YouTube and audio wherever you listen to your podcasts. Every week, Brock and James talk the latest rumors, news, and theories from a galaxy far, far away. Support us on Patreon for exclusive offers and join the Star Wars discussion. Patreon.com/Rebel Scum Podcast. Here are your hosts, Brock and James.
You're always scum. Rebel Scum.
Oh!
It never gets old.
Whoa! Rebel Scum Podcast. I'm Brock. This is
James!
This is episode 311 of the Rebel Scum Podcast. Happy Star Wars Podcast Day to everyone. We are truly blessed to be part of the myriad of Star Wars podcasts that are joining together under the hashtag
Star Wars Podcast Day.
Hashtag Star Wars Podcast Day. So don't waste time with us. Go check out other Star Wars because, there's definitely not two dudes talking about Star Wars anywhere else.
Anywhere. We are one of the few Star Wars podcasts.
Everyone's like, what's a Star Wars? But yeah, feeling truly honored to be included again. Is this the third year we've been part of this Star Wars podcast?
This is our third. We missed.
Nice.
Yeah, this I think their fourth. We've talked about it. I think this is the fourth year they've done it. This is our third year. We missed the second year, I believe, because I missed the memo on that one. We avoided it. We were the second year, we're like sophomore slump. We want nothing to do with this. We were back to the three-peat.
We were a month away from COVID, so we were just living lives in the ether like nothing was about to change. So yeah, and this year is a fun year for Star Wars podcasts because apparently it's the 25th anniversary of the first podcast that was just about Star Wars. Now, I'm not good at mathing, but that's like 1999, right? 1998, 1999?
It would have been it sounds like 99. Yeah, I don't know. I thought podcasting came out after the iPod.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to get some clarification. It might have just been a radio show in their basement.
Yeah.
Who knows?
That just like the first internet radio show that you could only play on your what was that one music player? Wave.
Wave.
God.
Yeah. I know. You could adjust the levels on. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Oh gosh, it'll come to me. But oh man, remember those good times?
This predates that, though. No, this is probably right around there. You're right. This is when you could play, Commander Keen and pinball.
Yeah.
Versus Celtics. All Lakers versus Celtics you could get. That's what it was back then. The good times.
Well, I gotta say, it must be, the Star Wars vibes must be in the air, because I got this picture from my colleague not more than an hour ago. He was working at our studio. This is a LED wall. It's like a big LED wall, and he has to just babysit some stream of some sort. So he went in there, and it looks like he's watching. I'm not sure. I think it was Bad Batch. It looks like Clones. Yeah, because that looks like Long Shot. I forget what the one character's name is, but that's 15 feet high and 30 feet across, and that is Star Wars love for you. So shout out to my colleague Mark Samuels, living the Star Wars life. I'm going to make sure he sees this clip so that we can at least get more views. Anyways, what we got on?
Dale, Pauline, Heidi, and Desi all in the chat. Desi and Heidi are, I guess they're hammered. That's what it sounds. I'm not saying it. That's what it sounds like. Just saying. I'm drinking a hot chocolate, because I'm old. Oh, this is with Brock. This hot chocolate, I gotta tell you. So, Santa Claus brings me hot chocolate in my stockings every year because I love hot chocolate. But this year, I got a few different ones, and this one I'm drinking, it's like a hot pepper hot chocolate with some ginger in there, and
fun.
It's really good. But I would also say, if you want hot chocolate, this isn't what you want. This is we're podcasting, and I don't feel like a coffee right now, and I don't feel like hot chocolate. I feel like it's really good, but it's nice. When you want a hot chocolate, you're I want something like the sweet chocolate. This is not that. This is different. but it is delicious. I do like it, and I'm going to be drinking it during the show because I like it that much. Anyway,
Boom.
what a great time to be a Star Wars fan.
What a great time. So many things are happening. But
we're going to talk about Carl Weathers in a little bit.
Yeah.
May he rest in peace. But first, we gotta get going on this. Have you Googled it yet? What we're about to talk about? Have you? You should Google it right now because it sounds like a friend of the show. Everyone's Gina Carano, Cara Dune, is going to sue Disney for being like released from the show, and she wants them to reinstate her on the program of The Mandalorian. I laugh at it. It might not be a laughing matter. I still have stayed away from what went on for real with her and Disney and all that. Like I've stayed away from all of that. So I can't, I'm not going to comment on any of that, but I will say that when the cast is asked who was your favorite cast member, pretty much all of them say that she was. So I don't think she has a shot with this. Elon Musk apparently is funding this, and he's going to pay for like her to lawyer up and all that. So Cara Dune will be appearing in the Mando and Grogu movie, which is now being called Mando, Grogu, and Cara Dune, and that's the retitle. Are you Googling it now? Are you seeing the? I thought it was like it was like a hoax, like somebody did as a joke. And it caught him, but no, it's being reported by reputable sites and sources now. So it's my source, Brock, my one source, the guy with the cigar in the corner in the shadows, is like, "Hey, I got a source on Lucasfilm for you. Grogu's gonna die." That guy, he told me this is, but like this is, I don't know. I just wanted to bring it up because it's in the news and it's hilarious.
Yeah, it's like. I've never understood people that, get let go from a place and then like I don't think maybe this doesn't happen as often as I think, where it's like I want to sue them so I can go back to work there. I'm like, what are you doing? Like you sue for whatever. I mean, I guess it affects her character because like I was looking at her IMDb and she's really done nothing since Mandalorian. Like she doesn't even have any projects upcoming or projects happening in 2023. Like it just stops 2022. So it's like, I mean, I guess you might have a case there that you're like, well, you've ruined my career because
there's a case.
But I mean, maybe you gotta be careful what you say out loud at times. I don't know. But I mean, it's funny that Elon Musk is funding this. I'm like, there's more to this than we're actually aware of. He's like, I feel like he's trying to take on Disney for who knows why.
For Elon Musk, he tweeted something about Disney today that I don't follow Elon Musk, by the way, but somebody reposted it. James Jr. I did not see. I didn't even know Ewan McGregor. This is Pauline saying, "Did anyone else see Ewan McGregor on Jimmy Kimmel last night?" And I said I did not. And then Pauline said, "James, do you not have a PVR?" I didn't even know he was on Jimmy Kimmel. I haven't watched. Fun fact about me: I haven't watched late night television since the Leno Letterman days, I believe. So I don't even know what's going on in that world. I'm in bed by 9. That's a lie. It's not. It's 9:15.
I mean, in reality, is like if it's good enough, people will start putting it on TikTok and Reels and what have you. Like I didn't watch the Grammys at all, but I saw clips of the Grammys, so I guess it's whatever is relevant.
Which is why, like, it amazes me that, and I maybe it's just because it's been on so long. Saturday Night Live is surviving because it's like it's the TikTok 2-second clip world we live in now. Like it's wild that Saturday Night Live. I think it's wild that they're able to like live through it because I don't see a lot of new. There's a like I'm not. I mean, there's a few that trickle in, but it's not a lot of new skits on there. It's usually all I see now is the Californians, which is hilarious. I'm not complaining. That's like the only Saturday Night Live skit I've been seeing lately. I'm not complaining, but it's just wild that because I remember James Corden, he was facing like I don't know what we're talking about this facing cancellation. And they're like, you need to get the internet. And then he did the singing in the car stuff, and that I guess that saved the show or whatever. Anyway, back to Star Wars. Cara Dune and Mando and Grogu, the new movie from Lucasfilm coming out in 2025. Actually, someone, I think it was Bestman Bulletin or something, saying it's coming out in 20. There's the year is like now set, apparently. Like it's 2025 or 6 or something like that.
Yeah.
When you're ready to go.
Sounds about right.
Which is exciting. Do you think it's going to happen?
I mean, anything is possible. But like when I was looking up news, there's a whole bunch of articles on just like, oh, this project's gonna go, and this is like, like there's a Bob Iger quote. It's like, yes, the first one will be Mando and Grogu. It'll be the first movie that comes back, and it's gonna be great. And I'm like, of course you say that. Nothing is made yet. You can't make any. You're just like, why wouldn't you say it's like? I have a project, but I don't know if it's going to do. I mean, like, what's his face? Donald Glover's talking about Lando now because him and his brother are, like, writing and directing. And, like, that's a good move because they've done a lot on Atlanta together. They have this new Mr. and Mrs. Smith show out that I watched the first couple episodes. And I'm like, it's good. It's not like, oh, but it's good. Like, it's... I feel like if you're in on Donald Glover, you're in on, like... I like how the way he thinks of dialogue, right? So his Stephen Glover and Donald Glover working on a project is probably a good idea, but he said the same thing where it's like, oh, there's a singular vision and like that's good because then we're all on track and everyone. I'm like, just get me a trailer. Just get me a trailer. And I'm like, we can talk about fantasy all day, which we do because it's Star Wars, but like, make something. Just go make it. Go make it. There's already 2 Godzillas in the can.
But seriously, Godzilla and the show. Yeah, and the show. And the Kong Skull Island happened. Like there's a lot like that monster universe.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like it's taken over Fast and Furious for most. It doesn't make the money, but it's like they just keep doing it. That's what I love these little you know what I watched before Sunrise the other day because I was sitting on my couch, Brock, and I said, you know what I want to watch? A good movie that's just 2 people talking. And then I was like, oh, it's on Crave. Because that's what those movies are. And somebody I know watched, probably my parents, someone watched it. Oh, they were just talking. I'm like, I know. And that's all I want. Not all the time. I'm not saying all the time. But sometimes I'm just like, if I just sat and had 2 people who can act and have good dialogue, that's all I want. That's all I want. And I watched it. And they don't make them like that anymore. They don't. But they made 3 of those movies.
Yeah.
They made 3 of those movies. And Star Wars is like, I don't know. I don't think after the first one, I'm like, I don't know if I'm clamoring for the next one. But I got it, and it's great. But like Star Wars is like, you've got like a world, the lore, and for some reason you can't figure out. But I think what Glover's saying though, the singular vision is a big thing. And I watched I'm watching a lot of movies. I watched Past Lives this weekend, and it's an A24 film, and they're kind of like the little small studio, right? The studio, I think, where they release those movies that they're just people talking. Basically, 75% of the movie was in Korean, and I was folding my daughter's laundry while watching it. Had to rewind it a bunch of times at the beginning. Wasn't the best choice to not read the screen, but it was a really good movie. But Donald Glover's point of singular vision is you know, you watch a movie, those kind of movies from A24, and you're like, okay. And then the original Star Wars, and I was thinking of like American Zoetrope, like when they came, because the studio system was like bogging them down. And it's like, we're kind of at that point again now where the studio system is making all these content. They're just push the content. And Star Wars, the brilliance of Star Wars came out of a singular vision. And maybe that's a good thing, that maybe they're giving Donald Glover the carte blanche to do what he wants with Lando. And maybe it'll be Rian Johnson for some people, and maybe it'll be George Lucas for others. But I like the idea that it's one person and it's not like a board of stockholders making decisions on what they're going to make in the movie.
And sometimes it's Chinese democracy and we get it like 20 years later. Thanks, Axl Rose. You know, like I agree with you. It's like having a set vision and not like running it by committee, but like it's been, when was Rise of Skywalker. When did that come
It's
out?
4
Before
years.
COVID.
4 years.
Yeah, like it's like if that was last year, I'd be like, yeah, take your time, but like, let's go.
Well, the Lando movie shouldn't even be like. That should not be the next. That shouldn't be the one we're waiting for. We should be waiting for something bigger. Like Lando should be like the Rogue One Solo, like the little movie that gets us through to the next one. And that's not knocking it or anything. I'm just saying, like, you're right. Like, where the hell have these movies been? How have you not figured it out? Like, after The Rise of Skywalker made $1 billion, and the opening weekend was bigger than The Last Jedi, if I remember from last week's podcast correctly. It ended up making less.
Yeah.
So if you make a movie if you make a Star Wars movie that people like, that doesn't play down to your audience and all the stuff that people like wrote Rise of Skywalker, if you make a solid Star Wars movie, it's going to make more than the Last Jedi. Now, COVID changed a lot of things. It changes movies. Movies are making $1 billion anymore. Take that into account. But I mean, you watch The Creator. I saw The Creator, and I look at that movie. It's like, this movie looks brilliant. Like the visuals are incredible, and it cost $80 million to make.
It's not
Like,
bad.
like strip Star Wars down a little, like just a little bit. I think you can spend all the money you want on Star Wars, but you need the story, and apparently you can make visual effects that are cool look really solid for. I mean, $80 million is a ton of money to me, but it's not a lot of money in Hollywood. But like, you would like Star Wars would make that up even in this day and age, probably in a weekend, tops 2 if they had to. Like they would make that up with the way the movie theaters are going now. But I mean, people want to go back to the theater. Brock, that romantic comedy with Top Gun and what's her face? that thing made $150 million. Yeah. Like it made like a lot of money. And people want to go back to the theater and they want to watch quality. I haven't seen it, but I'm guessing it's quality because it made money. People want to watch stuff. They want to go to the theater again. I think people are sick of staying at home watching that. They're always going to stay home and watch Netflix, but I think they want that Friday night, Saturday night, and the movies like back.
Well, like, big tip to all our Canadian viewers, which is basically Pauline. Cineplex, Canada's theater, is like doing 90s pricing on Tuesdays. Yeah. So $5 for Tuesdays for the February's, and there's 5, I think. I think this first Tuesday already happened.
Yeah, I mean, it's a leap year. We got.
Well, like Reham and I went to see the Mean Girls musical. Like it's Mean Girls reboot or whatever, but it's musical. Pretty fun, and yeah. So it's like I want to go to the movies. Oh, we're gonna go see Argyle next Saturday with a friend. So it's like, yeah, let's do it. I mean, yeah, obviously life has changed how much we ingest, like, content, but at the same note, it's like we get bored. We get bored easily, so it's like, just make it fun again.
I think movie theaters were in danger, but I think if you put out movies people want to see, we're going to slowly get back. It'll take time, but we're going to get back to. Avatar made $1 billion, and what was the other one that made $1 billion? Barbie, Mario Brothers. Movies make $1 billion, and that Oppenheimer almost made $1 billion. It's a 3-hour movie. I haven't seen it yet. But like, people want to go and they want to watch. I mean, I think Oppenheimer though was on that coattails of Barbenheimer. Like that really, like people want to be part of that conversation.
Yeah.
But people want to be part of a conversation. And if you look at all these big movies like Independence Day that came out, it's because people want to see the big movie, the big conversation piece.
Yeah.
And back then it was different because we didn't have all these options, the variety of streaming services that make the movies. So I think Star Wars, man, like Pauline said, needs better writing. You put a nice, well-written movie, a good Star Wars movie, which could be this Rey movie, for all we know. Because Daisy really said something else about how it was the director had this really cool story. I'm like, well, this hasn't been said before. It's always been like, it sounded like it was a story by committee, but now it's like one singular vision, Brock, is what it sounds like. And if that's the case, just do it and put it on the screen next year. Because then we have to wait till 2026 for Mando and Grogu, the motion picture in Technicolor.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait till we actually get something. Just anything. I guess Bad Batch comes soon. That's like the next thing. So
I think it's this week or next week. It's really soon.
Yeah. I keep forgetting it's February.
It's this year, man. It's already flying by.
Yeah.
It's a good times. Good times. Speaking of not so good times, there's a segue for you. The Star Wars family lost another friend.
Yeah.
Carl Weathers passed away last Thursday, I believe. I think I found out Friday.
Yeah.
Was when I got a DM from a few people saying, "Oh man," I was like, "What's going on?" And then I googled it, and I was like, "Not what I was suspecting." Really sad stuff. 76 years old. I think everybody's done a podcast about it. Everybody's talking about it. We haven't talked about it. I thought we should talk a little bit about Carl Weathers because not only was he Grief Karga, but he directed several episodes of The Mandalorian
That's right.
as well. So he was more involved in Star Wars. And I'll let you talk in a little bit. But the one thing for me was he was such like a good ambassador for the brand. Also, like a celebration, he thanked the last celebration he was at. He thanked everybody for liking Mandalorian. And if you're not on Twitter, but he was like so positive on Twitter. He had his hashtag was #BePeace all the time, and he was always positive. And you could tell that he loved the experience he was having working on Star Wars with the people he was working with. And so that, to me, that's a big. I mean, aside from everything else, but that's one of the big losses. Just somebody who just loved what they were doing in this world.
Yeah, I mean, he's always been an interesting actor, because he's been in so many prolific films, but then also I don't think he's ever been above doing small parts. One of my favorite things he's ever done was be himself or a parody of himself on Arrested Development. Just like whenever I see, he's like, potato bone. Oh, you're gonna get rid of that bone? You get take that bone, potato, vegetables. You got a stew going there, brother. Like, it's just so funny, and it's someone gets it when they're okay with poking fun at themselves or like what they represent. He was in, for our generation, like obviously like Rocky 3. Which one is he in?
He's in 1, 2, and he in 3.
Right. So like he's in the Rocky series. I wasn't a Rocky fan, but for our age demographic, we know him from like
Predator.
Predator. Yeah, Predator. But I was gonna say Happy Gilmore more specifically. So like it's kind of cool. Like he's not one thing. He's not like an action star. He's all over the map. And like Grief Karga, I feel like it was like a culmination of all of it, where it's like over the top, bombastic, but then also a meaningful character. Like he was almost like a side character, like a Pelimoto or I don't know, but like he was a part of like a lot of the stories, main stories, and I think he was always willing to come back when they needed him. And like you said, like they trusted him enough to take the reins on a couple episodes. So that's pretty cool. So he will be missed, not just as a person as a whole, because he just he has been a part of pop culture since, when did Rocky come out? 80s?
Late 70s.
Late 70s, right? So like
same year as Star Wars, I think. I think it was the same year as Star Wars.
So it's like that's a long gap to be part of like the pop culture zeitgeist. So I hope they find a relatively respectful way of how to deal with him not being in the show. I mean, they just don't bring him back again or just mention him off screen. But
I was thinking about that because my feeling was I kind of thought that the character might be killed off in season 3. Like I don't know. I was just thinking like maybe like he's next in line. But now with him being gone, the way it wrapped up is you almost don't need him to come back at all. I don't even think you ever really needed him to come back. He just came back because it's a show and that's what happens. But I don't think you need him to come back because that story's kind of been cemented. Like that one's kind of done. Yeah. That being said, it would be nice for him to blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But also that being said, it's you kind of do want to pay respect to the actor / director that you've had. So I think even though you could go and just like you don't even have to mention him anymore. He's just gone. Like the stories have gone like this, like separate ways. But I think you go back and you do something out of respect. I don't know if you would kick off the movie or say season 4 or whatever it is with that. I think you would wait a little bit and do it. But at some point, it's just like a nice something touching. He could go back and find out maybe he passed or something like that, and or he moved to another whatever. They do something because I don't think you need to recast just because I really feel like his storyline is good to go, and just respectfully just give him. I think you do give him a farewell. Whatever that is up to them.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I think that's all you do.
Yeah, solid character, solid actor, solid person. Yeah, Carl Weathers, truly a treat. Whenever he was on screen. So,
and he was on. He did some stuff for FanDuel for the Gronkowski kick at halftime. He was his coach in some early commercial, and they're having and they're re-editing it because they actually shot stuff with him for if he made the kick or not, and they're not using either one because it's not right, but they're doing something else, and I don't know. But they're talking with his family about it too to figure it out. They say it's been a lot. It's been really tough editing the footage.
I believe it.
Yeah, so because they just worked with him a little while ago. I'd imagine a few months ago or so. So yeah, really, it's weird because he tweeted out like a day or two before he passed away. Just like, he wrote something and somebody gave him the old Twitter like, "Ha, you're an idiot," and he just wrote back with like, "Nah, we can have different opinions."
Yeah, exactly.
And he was very classy about it. And then he wrote BPs. I was like, man, and I was just like, you put that guy in it. Just put him in his place, just quietly. Like, you can think what you want. That's fine. I'll think what I want. Let's just go about it. And he'll definitely be missed. And I think they'll do something. You know what? Maybe they don't even bring the character back and they just give him a little title card like they did for Ray Stevenson. Like that. And just keep it simple and no bother. Because I do think that the difference between him and Ray Stevenson is, I think Ray Stevenson's character you could recast because it's so relevant. Where his, I just think you're done. Let him be the character, and that character is over now. Yeah,
absolutely. There's a lot of different ways you could do it. So
yeah.
I mean, we could see what happens. Who knows? I'm sure it'll be done tastefully because it's like, especially with the Mandalorian, it's like there's a lot of attention put to details and just whatever. So yeah, it's a true bummer, but I hope he rests in power. So he will be missed, and I think anytime we see him in an older movie, I'll be like, yeah. I
think my favorite part of him and Mandalorian is just, and I said this to some, it was just when he goes, Mando! Hey, Mando! Exactly. That's how I always think of the show is just him yelling Mando. That's my favorite. But it's just something about his big voice just calling him out. There you go. Goofy, he started off as kind of like the villain at the beginning too, right? Like he tried to get him, and then he comes back halfway through. He goes like, "All right, we're on the same team," and it's it is things that happen in life. It all is. 76, Carl Weathers. At least he doesn't have to stick around for Cara Dune coming back.
Yeah.
The timing of that is so weird. Anyway, no, he was great. Yeah, he was great in everything he came in. I forgot about Arrested Development until somebody posted. I was like, oh my god, those were hilarious. He knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing. Good times. You want to go to some blind rankings?
Let's do it. Whoops.
Are we reading the news today?
There's no news. I said most of the things I read. Oh, there's an Ahsoka E-Wing coming to toys, so
don't
there you go.
Spoil the news yet.
There you go. I don't have anything to read. That is
it. All right. Today's blind rankings. Here we go, Brock. Blind rankings. They're going to be Star Wars video games. Blind rankings, Star Wars video games. 1 to 5, 1 being the greatest Star Wars video game ever created, and 5 being the worst Star Wars video game ever created. Because in my world, only 5. There's only been 5. I picked these 5 for fun. So don't get your hopes up. The first one we're going to go with is Super Star Wars.
Oh, 5.
Have you played it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. So good. Next, we're going to go Bounty Hunter.
4.
Okay. Force Unleashed.
This is where it gets dicey.
It's gonna get very dicey.
I know you. I can kind of guess which ones you're gonna pick. I am going to risk it and put it at 3. If I were to know ahead of time, it'd probably be higher. For the first Force Awakens, I don't know. It doesn't matter. Yeah, no, it was a good. That was a
Yeah,
good
the
game.
first one. I didn't put any. No sequels are in this. Well, I guess technically one might be. Battlefront 2015.
So that's the first one that was on Xbox One and PS4.
Yes. Yeah.
2, because yeah. I'm just going. I don't know what the next one's gonna be, but.
And the next one is Pod Racer.
Yeah, no, I'm happy with that. Yeah, that number 1 for sure. Yeah.
I love that game. I'm a big.
Yeah, like if I had to choose my favorite Star Wars games, it would probably be like maybe Knights of the Old Republic because I played that a lot. Maybe the Rogue Squadron from 64 and the original Battlefront, just because the original Battlefront for Xbox 360, like I played a ton of that. I preferred the online to that of like the current Battlefront, but like no disrespect to the current Battlefront, it was a great game.
Well, we're gonna do a lot of these, so I'm picking and choosing. And I thought these 5 kind of worked well together. It was kind of like my feeling on it, because Knights of the Old Republic, it's very different. Like these games are all kind of fun, arcadey type games. Where Knights of the Old Republic, there's other games that will fit in with that. Like I didn't put any of the Jedi Fallen Order or Survivor.
Yeah, exactly.
Like there's a lot of Star Wars video games.
Oh, there's a lot.
Yeah, but these ones I felt, because I don't want you to you put them in order. Then you're like number 1 is Super Star Wars is number 1. You're like, what happened there? Super Empire Strikes Back. There is a game.
Oh, they were all awful. They were terrible.
How can you? No, they were fun. Those are fun games. I don't know how you can say that.
I don't know.
They're side-scrolling fun.
They're like broken Metroidvanias, but like I don't know. I think my first favorite Star Wars game would probably be. Oh gosh, what's the ones for 64? The first one, Shadows of the Empire.
Oh, the
like
Empire.
that was interesting. That was a real interesting game to play. So
yeah. Well, we're gonna do. There'll be more video games to go on the blind rankings in the future, because there are a ton of video games. Now, those are our blind rankings. I'd say let us know in the comments, but they're blind, so you can't. It's over. All right, you want to go to the odds?
let's do it.
Hold on.
Possibility of successfully navigating an asteroid field is approximately 3,720 to 1.
Never tell me the odds.
Never Tell Me the Odds, brought to you and me and everyone by patreon.com/Rebel Scum Podcast. If you like what we do, what's that? What did you say?
By that picture. By the picture that.
Possibility of successfully navigating
The odds.
By this picture right here.
Oh, okay.
I didn't
Brought
know
to
it
you
was going to be again.
by patreon.com/Rebel Scum Podcast. Go on down there and support us any way you can. Is greatly appreciated, and we always love the people that support us. And those wonderful people are the following. Once I open my email again so I can see the list, and that's not even remotely the email I wanted. You distracted me by your interruption. Anyway, sorry. The following fantastic folk: Heidi Feder, executive producer; Barry Brophy, Dennis Allen, Randy Kenobi, Mary Kristen Aton, Dale Erdman, Jeff Wilson, Phil Steneforth, Rez, Scott D,
Josh Price, Matt W., Frank Perkins, Neil Lowry, Cosmic Girl 02, Gleek Play 1, Denim Nerds, Disney Desi, Charlotte, and Ron Prasak.
Shout out to all the wonderful
Thank you so
people that are in. So, what are the odds?
Possible. You make this possible. The odds are pretty good that they help make this possible. Never tell me the odds. Our first odds: something Star Wars released during the Super Bowl, whether it be a trailer, random character in a commercial, something like that. Like last year, I think, or 2 years ago, was Ewan McGregor was walking around doing anything. Just something from Star Wars will be, because there's no Star Wars trailers, obviously, but something related to Star Wars will be shown at some point during the Super Bowl this coming Sunday.
There's nothing like Star Wars related with either of the teams that are playing or where it's being played. But I'm going to say 62%. Maybe. Yeah, like a reference, right?
Yeah, I can see that. I'll go like 58.925%, because it's such a popular property that's
Yeah.
everybody likes. Aaron and I will watch like the most random stuff, and someone will be like, "Oh, you're like a Jedi." She's like, "I can't escape this." Like there's always like, Star Wars is like it's so embedded in our culture that I can see it popping its head up. It has nothing to do with Star Wars. It'll be like Frito-Lay, and he goes, "I should have used the Force to get that chip." Our next odd, if this is a negative Nancy odd. Alden Ehrenreich will never play Han Solo again. And this is not an indictment on him, Brock. This is just he's going to be like older than Harrison Ford soon. So Alden Ehrenreich will never play Han Solo again.
I think that's a mistake. The very least, he could voice Han in something. But
yeah, you think it's a mistake, but does Lucasfilm think it's a mistake? You got to get the headset and the mindset of Lucasfilm.
It's like if people complain enough, but like I mean, I don't think he's at the level like Jar Jar hate or anything like that. I'm gonna go never again. Probably like the likelihood is probably like 75%, but he might not even want to be Han anymore, right? So.
Yeah, I'm going to go full Brock. Because I think the movie didn't do well, and I think a lot of people there probably blame him, and he's not Harrison Ford. And yeah, maybe he doesn't want to do it. But I'm going to go full Brock because I think, you do the Lando show. You don't need him in the Lando show. I don't even think you should, or the Lando movie. I don't even think you should have him in there. I mean, I don't know what it's about, so I can't say if he should be there or not. But if let's say the Lando movie is a massive success, and they're like you might want to bring in young Han, and then you either de-age Harrison Ford or get someone to do the Mark Hamill thing for the Mandalorian, or you get the guy you had to play Han Solo show up. So I'm gonna go full Brock on that one.
Yeah,
maybe he will cameo in a Star Wars TV show. Yep, I was kind of I still wish that he had a cameo at the end of Rogue One. Remember that rumor that he was going to be in Rogue One?
Yeah.
Somehow do that. That would have been cool. But Star Wars just doesn't think like that for some reason. Like they just haven't been like that. I don't know. They don't like anyway. And our final odd, we will get another Rogue One era series like Andor, like something that is in the Rogue One family, let's say.
I'm gonna go full Brock on this one because it's not a bad idea. It could even be just a spin-off of Andor somehow. Because I think Andor was received well. He got a second season, so maybe if the second season of Andor blows everyone out of the water, and you're like, wow, it's like. They've already said they don't want to do anything more after 2 seasons of Andor. Maybe you do a Mon Mothma spinoff, and it just like focuses more on the building of the rebellion. So,
or like a Coruscant spinoff type thing.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go.
Exactly.
I gotta go full Brock again.
Yeah,
just full cop out this week from me, just because like Andor was great. It was very different from what we're getting. It's nice to spice it. Again, we don't know what Acolyte's going to be or Skeleton Crew's going to be.
Yeah.
But it's nice to just see a little bit of a change. And it was a quality change. And I love the look and the cinematography and all that of it. And I don't know what just happened. Something fell behind me. I like all that. So, yeah, I'm all in. And I think, like the world of Coruscant told by Gilroy and those people could potentially be a lot of fun. I don't think it's a slam dunk. Like, I think it can miss, but it Mon Mothma, you brought up Mon Mothma, that got me on that. I never even thought of that before. But I think that would be kind of a fun thing to watch. I would totally do it. Or Pauline saying, how about a TV show about the rebellion before A New Hope? Yeah, that's what, right there, here. And it doesn't have to be a spinoff of Andor, but it could be parallel to Andor even, while Andor's happening, this was happening. Because there's a lot going on that we don't see. Yeah, so those are our odds. Let us know what your odds are in the comments down below. All right, everybody, we're going to go no news, so I don't have to sing today with this Friggin', I like when I don't sing.
Oh.
Everybody else, we got to release a soundtrack of this show one day. Our top 5 grief karga moments, Brock. Top 5 in honor of Carl Weathers. Top 5 grief karga moments. My number 5 is going to be when he shoots the pirate in the last season finale or season premiere, I think it was. He has a shootout with the pirate. That will be my number 5.
My number 5 is when he introduces Mando to the Anzellans, because that's just an awesome scene. I put it low because it's really good because of the Anzellans, aka like the Babu Fricks that are interacting with them, the bad baby scene. But like Carl Weathers Grief Karga does a really nice part of that scene where like he's trying to like translate for the Anzellans, even though it's totally understandable what they said. So like that seems really good.
I love that one. I'm gonna go every time he says Mando, number 4. That's my number 4. Just every time he says Mando, hey Mando, because that's what I associate with Mando.
Yeah, my number 4 is, I think, similar to what you were saying, but like, yeah, when those pirate gang comes in, they're like, this is a bar. It's like, that's a schoolhouse. And they have like that sort of like face off where like Mando shoots all of them except for one. Like that, like him being like, oh yeah, because it's like, as much as he's gone straight, he's still connected to the underworld that is bounty hunting.
Yeah. My number 3 is when he gives Grogu the Taika Waititi droid, IG, whatever. I love that moment when he gives him this droid. I need that.
My number 3, I'm the same. I like that part where he's like, okay, so like we've put the robot as a statue. We could bring him back. It's like, whoa.
It's such a weird plot point.
Yeah.
My number 2 is in the first season, the finale, or the one before the finale, when he thinks Grogu's going to eat him. He thinks Baby Yoda's going to eat him. And we were all in love with Baby Yoda, that it was the funniest thing on the planet.
Yeah. My number 2 is going to be... should have wrote these all down. I thought of them earlier today. I really liked the part where I want to do something from season 1. I don't know why this stands out. Like the first time we meet him, and yeah, he calls Din Djarin Mando, and that's like how we started establishing that term. I like the back and forth of like, I can pay you in credits. Imperial credits, like that's no good anymore. Like, what about Mon Cala? He's like got all these monies, different variations of money. I just like that, and it was like it really introduced us to the whole premise of what was going to be something more elaborate. So I like thinking about where we started with the character.
That's a good one. And my number 1 is do the magic hand thing. Do the magic hand thing. Just love it.
I don't know if this is the same scene, but is that in season 1?
Yeah, I think that's the finale. That's like at the end, I think when they're about to get blown up, I think.
Is that when they're like around like the campfire in the last episode of season 1? Or no, that's the episode prior to that.
Yeah, that's when we think he's going to get eaten.
Yeah, like I read, like he interacts with Grogu the first time at the point where he's like, I'm not the bad guy anymore. And it's like, yeah, that's a good scene.
Yeah. I like it's like, do the magic hand thing is like, I'm out of ideas. Like, that's his big contribution to everything. And he delivered it so well.
Nice.
And he didn't direct anything in season 1. I think he started in season 2. He was like there, and then he did season 3 as well, which is great. He got a lot of nice praise. Ahmed Best, he directed Ahmed Best. So he did a lot. And it's touching stuff came out. It's it's always rough, but you just remember fondly how they come in your lives.
Yeah.
Episode 311, Star Wars Podcast Day. What a great day.
You gotta go out and promise to listen to 3 other Star Wars, 7 years podcasts, because it's hashtag Star Wars Podcast Day. So go out and enjoy other podcasts that are involved with this, because we're a community and we support each other.
And next week is our Valentine's Day show, and we're going to do it on Valentine's Day night. We're going to move our wives to the side, and we're going to say Brock and I are going to sit here eating chocolate with each other, talking about all the romance in a galaxy far, far away that we love.
Yeah.
I don't think any of that's true.
3PO, R2, what's happening there? I don't know, but I'm all here for it.
What really happened with Chewie and the Porgs? What really happened?
Nice.
There's a. This has been fun though. We have to figure out next week though, because it is Valentine's Day on Wednesday, so maybe we do it a different day. Now, I mean, we'll probably just be watching true crime, because that's all my wife does, is listen to true crime podcasts. Where she's like, "Let's put up the Christmas tree. I'm gonna put on Dateline." I'm like, "Nope, not happening. Get that off." It's always the same.
Nice.
Ooh. Yeah. All right. Super Bowls this weekend. Brock, who you got?
The red team.
Can't lose if you bet red. This year. I made a bet with the Rob.
Of course you did.
The first week of the playoffs, and I said, if you want to make a bet, winner has to buy the loser the grossest beer they can find. And I won. Then he goes, "You want to do another game?" I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." And we're tied. We've done like 4 games, and we're 2-2. I'm like, come on, I don't want. I'm like, as long as it's like a non-alcoholic, I'm good to go. Because gross beers are usually like 9%, and I will pass out. All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching. Give us a like and hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with all the video. Aaron was about to say that. Brock, anything else you want to say?
No.
Perfect.
Star Wars. Hashtag Star Wars Day. Yay. Hashtag Star Wars Podcast Day.
Star Wars Podcast Day. Yeah. You know who says that? People who were always scum.
Rebel scum.
Hey, scumbags. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on our video. As always, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rebel Scum Podcast, for all the latest videos.